Hey everyone, welcome back to Bros and Shows. I'm your host, Josiah, aka Mahler67, and with me, as always, I got my buddy, I got my pal, I got my brother Austin. Austin, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to hear, Austin. I think everyone needs good days in their... Yeah. Man, yeah, no, that's good to hear, Austin. I've had a pretty non-eventful weekend, with, this being an off week for Vampire. I did the tabletop on Friday, then Saturday, me and Terry had plans to go get our license renewed, grocery shop, and then meet up with our friend Jordan to play some Warhammer stuff, because he was going to show us Kill Team, which is like Warhammer except more like single unit based. So it's like, think of it like playing Tactics or something like that, instead of having an army of like 3,000 some units or 3,000 points or whatever they do. It's you have 5 or 10. It's very like minimized. It's much more like turn-based strategy kind of deal things, and it's much more up my alley of what I like versus like big sloths of army where you have to sink all this time into it. It's much better as a pick up and play game versus whatever the freak they do there. Unfortunately, his roommate James had their birthday party thingy rescheduled. So they did it on that day instead, so he wasn't able to come over. So I spent most of my night on Saturday. Actually, this is funny. I got done shopping, got myself food and everything, sat down, ate some of my food and everything, went back out there. Suddenly I got a headache, like a big headache. And I don't get headaches very often. And I was like, wow, why do I have a headache? I come into my room, I sit down, I try to do it, I turn off the light, it goes away for a split second. I'm like, oh, it must be like lights or something is messing with me. And then it comes back and it's worse. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I go to sleep. I end up falling asleep on the bed watching Vinland Saga. And I wake up like 3 hours later, headache's still on. Like the headache is like very soft but hurting. And I was like, what's going on? So I go in the bathroom, you have someone leave there, I take one to leave, instantly all gone. Like it goes away in like 20 minutes or however long that takes to activate. And then it hasn't been back. And I was just like, what happened that gave me a headache like that? Like it was out of left field. It was rough. Like it was like top of my head level. And I was just like, this kind of sucks, but everything's fine now. I'm perfectly good. They changed my window out. They installed a new window because they saw that my window was old and like messed up. So they repaired it. Now the screen's on the right side, so I can open the window up with no issue. So now I have like the window open, nice breeze coming in. Actually, here I'll turn it and show you.
Hey, cool! That's awesome.
I put Molly's little like I got like a little computer thing that she could like it sits and I can connect to the desk. I connect it above my chair and she can sit there and sleep. She's been using it on and off, mainly when the sun's out. Whenever the sun's not out, she does not tend to use it. Let's put this back down so you're not looking straight at the light. But yeah, it's been pretty good. And then today, I'll be honest, all I did was play Dark Cloud 2 and watch Vinland Saga the whole day. It was a good day.
Doesn't sound bad.
It's not a bad day. Whenever you're a solo guy, like that's fantastic. That's a pretty solid day. Austin, how was your weekend? Like, what'd you do?
So we actually, all of us, my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, we went yesterday up to a place called Castle Noel. It's in Medina, Ohio, and
okay.
it's like the biggest Christmas museum. And we were like, hey, we've always wanted to go. Linda likes Christmas, Jace likes Christmas, so we're like, hey, like we should totally go. And we can like, you know, get to see it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving, before that, because the holiday rush becomes ridiculous, you know, up there. Like I've heard like people's like, yeah,
That's
don't
fair.
go during that time. We're like, okay, we'll go during this time. So we went up there and it was still packed, and we're like, wow, this place is huge. It was like a whole museum full of Christmas stuff. They had like Christmas toys from like my childhood and stuff. I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm seeing this right now. Like I haven't seen that since I was a kid. Like some of the stuff that I forgot about that I knew about, I was like, hey, that game, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. They also had like some pretty cool like they had all these glass windows from like New York City that they like got donated or they bought. And it's like glass windows from Christmas 2019, and like they showed all that, and then they did a lot of Disney stuff. Like they had a lot of Disney Christmas stuff, and then they had like a lot of like apparel and like a lot of costumes from like sets of movies, like Santa Claus, the other Santa Claus with Tim Allen, and then they had like Christmas with the Cranks props. They had Elf like suits and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. Like they had a whole bunch of cool stuff. Had the RV from Lampoon's National Christmas Vacation. So like it was really cool. We got to do that. Went to a place kind of like, it reminded me of what's that place in Pittsburgh? Pins. I think it's called like Pins and Pints or Pints and Pins or something like that.
Yeah. I think that's not even like a Pittsburgh thing. That's all around. They're like, it's like wooden games in a bar type deal thing.
Yeah, it's like they had cornhole, they had arcade games, they had pool, they had bowling, they had like it's just a whole bunch. It's meant
to be like a collectible, kind of like a Dave and Buster's without the machines. So everyone can like drink and be kind of rough with the equipment without it being like, oh no, they broke Sonic for the second time.
Been doing that, and then I got done watching like a whole bunch of movies that I've been wanting to watch. Like I just got done watching there was a movie that like I saw called Roofman, and it starred Channing Tatum. It just came out like recently, and it's based on a true story about a guy that actually was I think he was in the army or something. Yeah, he was in the army during like the Iraq War, and he got out and been a civilian, and he didn't know what to do with his life, so he started robbing all these McDonald's and Burger Kings by like cutting a hole in the roof. And then like everyone that they interview, like, and this is like a true story, every time they interviewed him, they're like, well, how was the robbery? And he's like, well, it wasn't actually bad. The guy was really nice. And they're like, really? And he's like, yeah, he put us in the freezer and I forgot my coat, and he gave me his coat. And that's the only way they found him, was there was like hair follicle on his coat. But he robbed like 45 restaurants. And then he got out, he got put in prison. Then he escaped out of prison. And then he lived a whole different life, and he lived in a Toys R Us for like, I think 3 months. Like he figured out a way to like live in Toys R Us. And then he eventually got caught because the girl that he was seeing, she kind of started noticing that like he was like doing things and how he got money. And she was like, But he like stole over, I think it was like $60,000 worth of video game inventory from Toy Story and pawned it off so he could like have money to like buy clothes and stuff for like his dates with this girl. So yeah, I got around to watching that. I started watching there was another movie that my cousin liked, and he was like, oh man, you gotta really watch it. That was a total terrible movie. I didn't like it one bit. It's called Necessary Roughness. Not a fan. I was like, nope, not a fan. This is an old 90s, like I think it was like an 80s movie, and it plot points were terrible. It was just bad. And then I got around to watching I'm trying to think the other movie that I wanted to watch. It was like something that I've been wanting to watch for a while now. And I don't remember. I don't really remember. But it was, I don't know. And then I started watching like the new Rock Dwayne Johnson movie today, which was like it's called The Smash Machine. And supposedly it's like critically acclaimed. Like it's like getting nominees for Oscars and stuff. But it's about like him being a UFC fighter.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've been watching some. Yeah, I've been watching a couple of those. Just going back, watching some movies from my past that I haven't watched in a long time. I'm like, this would be kind of cool. And I've been like going back and like trying to watch movies that I'd never watched that I've always wanted to watch, and I'm like, this is fun. been doing that, playing Power Wash Simulator. 2, Power Wash Simulator 2. It's just like one of my nice jams that I do where it's like a chill jam. Gets me in the just chill mood. And then we cleaned all today. Like we took the air conditioners downstairs, all that. And then been watching you play Dispatch. Like I made you watch. I was gonna say I think you're on the last episode. Or did you ever finish it? Okay. So yeah, I know that. So I've been pretty happy about that. That's why yesterday I texted you and I was like, hey man, like, you know, are you home? Because I was like, I thought he played games. I was like, oh, but it's not those weeks. And I'm like, huh, he's home. What is he doing? And they're like,
I was in bed because of a headache.
So I was like, yeah, I'll just let him be. I was like, because I was gonna be like, hey, you gonna pop on and we could play, you know, you could play Dispatch and I'll watch the finale with you. And then I was like, he's not feeling too good. I'm not gonna press that.
Well,
so
you messaged me and you asked me, and whenever I responded to you, I was up on my computer being like, I can play if want to, but you weren't in like the chat or anything. So I was like, he may be getting off here soon. So I
sat around and played Power Wash Simulator until I almost like passed out on my computer because
I didn't know that. Yeah, no, I was legitly just, I'm like, well, if he's not going to join chat, if he isn't going to go chat, then I guess I'll just put on Vinland Saga and start playing Dark Cloud.
I had to watch Vinland Saga.
Yeah, well, I had all today to finish up, so it didn't really matter. No, that's good, Austin. Yeah, no, Dispatch has been fantastic, highly enjoyable, very fun. I'm probably going to replay through it again after I'm done with the playthrough with you watching me. I do enjoy like streaming it while me and you like talk together because it it allows me to instantly like bounce off of someone as I'm like talking and doing stuff.
That's why you shouldn't date emo girls. This is exactly why you should date emo girls.
This is exactly why you should do it. Yeah, I know that's a cool spring. But anyways, Austin, talking about other things that has pretty good voice acting inside of it. Austin, this week we watched season 2, the current last season. To my understanding, they haven't confirmed if season 3 is going to come out or if season 3 is already coming out.
They've already confirmed that season 3 and season 4 have been confirmed. They don't know when they're being released though. Yeah, because supposedly the book trilogies are like super long. So I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
I think that's fine.
I got in the wrong chat. I just realized, like, I'm looking at Discord and I was like, oh, we're in general. We're not in
it doesn't matter.
Stern chat. Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna jump on. If they do, they're part of the podcast now.
Yeah. They jump on.
So, no.
Oh well.
So I'm gonna ask you because the thing is like it's just weird because I made you watch the show and I really want to know your input on this. This is a show that like this season like divided a lot of fan bases because certain people liked the first season so much and this is a totally different like show. Like, well, kind of, it's like a different take on it. Like it's not like how you would think it would progress. So I want to know your thoughts on it. What did you think of season 2 of Vinland Saga?
All right. I definitely understand where people come from the field saying like it's too much of a change from the first season. Like first season is like a super action based like shonen level where it was like every enemy he was finding or meeting was like, oh, I'm this big bad guy, you're gonna have to like kill me type deal thing. And then like it's not until the very end of the season that there's like more political stuff kind of introduced with like Ocelot and the king Canute entering into the fray. This season was much more like obviously more character driven. I still think it was kind of like it fit the world very well. I think there's some information that is presented very late in the season that they should have introduced much earlier and it would have been much better. And what that information is finding out that the reason why Thorfinn is a slave is because of what he did at the end of season 1 with like the drawing the knife going to try to kill the king. Like the king should have had him killed but instead sold him into slavery this, and this. Like that should have been presented very early, because it didn't. What happened in my, like, how I viewed it is you're introduced to like this new character. You see like his whole life and everything. Then he gets bought into slavery, and then Thorfinn just kind of shows up, and it's kind of like, okay. And then Thorfinn's like very like shallow, sad. Like he seems to be entering in that phase of like, I don't understand who I am type deal thing. I wish to die almost. It would have been better if like whenever he got introduced to him, he basically was like told like, this guy tried to kill the king, sold into slavery here, and now like this is where he is, and he's like, oh my gosh, I'm living with like an ex-murderer type deal thing. And then everything that happened in the series would continue to happen. It's just the fact that we get introduced to Thorfinn after everything that happened in season 1 as a slave, and you're just like, how do you become a slave? Were you just like leaving one day and then someone just kidnapped you? Like, it would, because basically how they have it set up is like anyone who becomes a slave is either like bound in Bow or like captured in Bow. So it's like, did Thorfinn lose in Bow or something like that? Like, I think that information would have done better earlier instead of being revealed until like the second to last episode or the third to last episode. It didn't really make much sense to me. I know whenever I was at my Nintendo Olympics that Josh did, one of the dudes explained that season 2 was like a farm simulator, is how he put it.
Oh no, that was Dylan Uhl, actually.
Oh yeah, Dylan Uhl. Okay. I knew it was around the same time. I don't think that's true at all.
No.
It was very like, anything to do with Thorfinn and the other guy was very like existential, like, what's the point in killing? Can I live with all this threat and all this debt? Like, I do all this horrible stuff. But like, it's just one of those things that I think I think the season is like perfectly fine. I enjoy a lot of that stuff. I don't think it's not that action packed. Like, there is consistency, a lot of action. It's not as much as the first season for sure. The first season is so much more action packed. That's what happens when you follow a character who is like a barbarian. I will say 2 things, and these are my own personal 2 things. Number 1, they're very much trying to set up Thorfinn to be like a Vash the Stampede kind of character, where he's like, I refuse to kill. I believe that there's a way we can achieve it without killing, this and this. Very much how his dad was at the end, in the very beginning, and everything of that sort. I'm cool with those characters. I like those characters. However, Thorfinn is a little bit of an emo king right now. And though it's fine, I think he got a lot better by the end of the season. In the beginning, like the first half, a little bit more than the first half, he was a wet board. I didn't really enjoy him all that much. Nair or Nar, I forget the other dude's name. It's a weird name for me. He was kind of like leading the show, which was good. And I very much got the like vibe from them as like a Vash Wolford kind of combo, where Wolford kind of like egged on Vash to like fight and believed in killing, even though Nair doesn't really quite feel that way. But he's more like common sense. He believes in like he has like good things that he enjoys about the world, everything of that sort. Renard is very like negative about all the worlds until later in the season. The second thing, and this is my other thoughts on this, right? And this is my opinion. The characters that they're like passive aggressive, I do not wish to kill, and everything like that, in anime specifically, tend to be more comically like inclined to show that they like how they dissolve situations is by like being charismatic, like calming the presence, or like being like, hey, I'm not this serious, calm yourself, and then surprise, disarm, take down. We need to be better people. Thorfinn is a little too serious for this right now, and I don't think that's going to change in the third season. I like where they lead them off to. I'm interested to see how that plays out with Thorfinn and with Nir whatever his name is. I forget his name. Raynor, I don't know. I'm interested to see how they kind of function together in this later season. It's just interesting because I think that each season, and I don't know because I don't read the anime or anything like that. It seems like each season is almost going to be a borderline standalone setup, right? Season 1, war. Season 2, finding yourself slash like slave solitude. Season 3 is going to be like a ship story. Like they're going to be on the sails to go Vinland and all that stuff. And then 4 is going to be them like reach Vinland and finding there's like native people there and choosing like how are they balance the ability for them to create something with them and like all this different stuff, right? Like all this different concepts. Because as much as that's interesting and cool to do, you also have a secondary character in Canute, the now king of France and England. Which, Austin, I gotta ask, this sets place in the same time as Danish law, right?
Yes.
Which is the exact same time as another series we watched called The Last Kingdom.
Correct.
Is Canute based on Canute?
Yes.
Okay, because I remember him being a king in the thing, but he had like a warlock girl with her.
Yes,
him.
correct.
And like he loses once the warlock girl was gone. Obviously, that character was made for that book series.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this who this king is? Where they like connect the two, and then it falls apart once again whenever that guy's gone. Because I recognized Aethelred whenever they said Aethelred.
Aethelred, yeah.
And I was like, I remember all the Aethels in what's it called?
Forbidden Kingdom.
The Last
Kingdom. Last Kingdom. Yeah.
Because there was like Aethelfled, Aethelfran, Aethel with a like sound on top.
Everyone wanted to be named the same thing.
It was very, very hard to like pay attention to certain characters in the show. And so whenever they had like Aethelfred or Aethel something like that in the season, I'm like, this has to be around the same time. I think they showed like a map real quick where it said Dane Law, and I was like, that's why I remember that. So I wanted to ask that to see if that's what that was.
Yeah, this is right before, probably like right now where we're getting to is like close to where like the Last Kingdom takes place in a way.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's kind of like
right
wiggle wobbly with the time thing. They don't really care about keeping super accurate on stuff.
Yeah,
they're just more or less kind of vibing with it, which is fine. I think it's solid. I don't even know everything that happens at that time because my only understanding of that time is from that other series, The Last Kingdom. And I'm sure that stuff isn't that accurate.
Most of it's pretty decent, like that I know of. Like there
but
is
you
slight
follow
liberties.
it through Uhtred's perception,
point
and he doesn't even exist. So
yeah,
like you have a lot of like openness. Also, I do want to ask from you, did you like this from the first season, or did you not like it? Like,
so
you know my thoughts now.
Yeah. So my thoughts are, I really enjoyed this season because one, it took a character and it completely put him on his head. Because like what I saw like at the end of season 1, I thought it was going to be a repeat of it, and I was like, oh, he's gonna try to find this redemption arc where he's like, I have to like go kill some people and blah blah blah, and like revenge is not a thing. I didn't expect it to be like this thing where like it's slowly built into character development of him just being like, I should be, I wanted to like avenge my father's death instead of me being more like my father before he was the warrior he was. I mean, after he was the warrior he was. So like, I kind of like the whole premise of it. I think one of the episodes that speaks really loud volumes for that is the episode where he has that like dream where Ocelot and all them are like down in like I think it's like hell.
Yeah, it's like some form of hell.
Some,
He's like, this is the endless battle. It's just like and all these people are the people you've killed. Blah blah blah. Like,
yeah, and I like stories like sappy stories about like someone that's trying to redeem themselves, but they always understand that they've killed people and that they like don't want that to happen again. I enjoyed a lot of this show, and I enjoyed season 2 a lot because it's like the evolving character of Thorfinn being someone that is worth being who you should be. Well, how like a character should be, like good morals and stuff like that. I kind of like that. Even though that you have a past of like violence and terrible things, someone can change through like certain things. And like, because the thing is when I remember watching season 1 and the end of season 1 where he's like screaming, the dagger is falling, I'm like, is this what we're getting? Like, that's the end of season 1. I was like, oh man, season 2 is gonna be like, I don't know what they're gonna do anymore. And so then when this happened, I was like, oh, because I actually got faked out a little bit because like season 1 does not start off with season 2 doesn't start off with Thorfinn. It starts off with whatever his name is. And then like they gave you that small sneak peek of him like at the end of season 1 on the boat, and that was it. And so I didn't think it was going to be anything towards like a story or whatever. And then like it started building up. I did like the premise of like their master with the whole, you make this crop, I'll sell it, you guys can like pay your freedom back. I like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Does that really happen? Probably not. You never know. It might have.
Here's the thing, Austin. I hate to be one of these people. What that guy did was create early stage capitalism. He literally had indentured servants onto their plot, forced them to work it to his benefit, and then once they got everything protected and prepared, they would sell back their sell all their stuff to make enough money to pay him back for his interest on them, and then they would become indentured to the land as retainers, and thus owe him more money and create this endless circle of debt, effectively. That's what that was. And there was a very key point where one of the people pointed out to them that it's just like, there's not much difference between a retainer and a slave. You're still indentured to the person that you work the land for. The difference is that the retainer can get up and leave, and the slave is stuck there. And I'm just like, that's just capitalism with like less notations. If you can't just get up and leave and there's things shackling you from stopping you from doing it, you're kind of indentured servant. Besides the point, I do like that concept, that setup, and I do believe that was actually a common thing.
Most likely. In
like certain areas. Maybe not common, but it was definitely a thing that some people did. Because you just benefit way too much from it, like, it's one thing to have like someone who owes you a debt. It's another thing to tell them like, you owe me this debt, but there's a way for you to prosperously live with this debt. Do this. They'll be like, you saw once Rainer, or whatever his name is, I know it's not Rainer, I'm gonna have to look it up to confirm it. Once his friend got that told to him, his perception changed. Like, he no longer went into like this, I can't believe I'm sold off, I'm slave, blah blah blah. It's like, I have an option to leave, I won't work as hard as I can. And that was probably exactly why he did that deal, because he's like, you'll get more out of them in 4 to 5 years than you'll get more out of them like 6 or 7, if they know they can never leave. I just, it's funny to me that you find out that the owner of the land, the father character, is lying about who he was. To like make people afraid of him so that way he could profit off that name. It's funny to me that the son basically became what that guy lied about. And then the youngest son was kind of a piece of trash. I didn't like him until the very end, where he finally like he saw the horrors of war and he's like, no, I never want that. Like, that's horrible. Who wants that? Which I enjoyed. I will say, I was so freaking happy that the season ended with the episode of him going home finally.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, this old man is old, dude. If they do another time jump, he's dead. Like, he ain't going to succeed. And it makes me really happy that he succeeded in his mission. Took most of his life, but he brought Thorfinn back. Like, good for him. Now he's going off to sail again, probably to die in the next season of old age. Like, that's just the truth of it. So yeah, like, did I like this season? Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It's definitely not the same thing as first season, and I completely believe people who are upset or didn't like it as much because it wasn't the same vibe as the first season. Completely understand, and I agree with that. Like, it's the difference between watching like a shonen like anime, and then the next season you're watching like a Code Geass show. You're like, this is a little bit of a rough switch. I do very much want to make you. We won't do it this time because we have like the next 3 weeks prepared. But the next time that's my turn to make us watch something, I am going to make you watch Gurren Lagann.
Okay.
Because that was a show I asked you. You explained that there's a huge shift in the story and how things are structured in the anime in this. And that's the same thing with Gurren Lagann. You watch season 1, you're like, whoa, this show is this. And then you watch season 2, you're like, what the freak happened? That's what happened to me. It actually made me stop watching the anime. After like I started watching season 2 for a bit, and then I came back to it and I was perfectly fine with it, because going off of one style for so long and then jumping to the secondary style, it's weird whiplash that's not fantastic. And I do believe that this show kind of gives you that if you're not prepared for it. Man, I'll tell you what though, there was some good combat, even though everything was always one-sided, which I didn't really enjoy. I thought they would have a little bit more back and forth stuff. But like the final fight with all the King's men coming in and then they just wreck everyone. I'm like, oh, well, okay. And then the oldest son being like a weird assassin, like crazy. I just like, I'm going to
I'm gonna sneak up behind him and swim.
Let everyone die so I can get the kill on the king. Like, that doesn't seem like a solid plan.
So
doesn't matter.
So there's one character in this season that I heard his voice and I was like, I know who that is.
Who?
Snake. Do you remember Snake?
Is it Fang? Fang is the mercenary captain.
Yeah, well, his name's Snake or Fang or whatever the mercenary.
No. In this show, his name's Fang.
I thought it was Snake.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure his name's Fang. Because he's the one who, like, when they go to leave, he's like, hey, my real name is this.
Yeah, that's Snake.
I'm pretty sure that was Fang. I guess I
No,
could be wrong.
his name's
Whatever.
Snake.
Yeah.
Do you know who his voice actor is?
I mean, I'm assuming it's Solid Snake now. Like,
no, it's.
Oh, who is it?
So I started listening to it and I was like, how do I know that guy's voice? And then when he started talking, I realized it was the voice actor of Vegeta.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that is Vegeta. Yeah, Chris Sabat. Yeah, Christopher Sabat.
It's so funny. You're like, Vegeta's voice actor. I'm like, I know exactly who that is. Why do I know? I don't know. I think he voices On Her in Smite, and that was the first time I looked him up. And I was like, Chris Sabat. Oh, he voices Vegeta. That's how I remember him. But yeah, no, that makes sense. When he was talking, he definitely sounded familiar. I did have the idea to look up who he was, but I ultimately chose not to. That makes sense. Yeah, Chris Sabat. I mean, this isn't Funimation, right? Like, who's the creators of this?
I don't know who the
my hands are filled right now with a cat. So I think
it's Crunchyroll actually.
Crunchyroll
so Funimation.
Well, Funimation and Crunchyroll are like combined, right?
Yeah, and I think because they own the license to this, and I think that's who produced it was Crunchyroll, because like they're the same thing. So I think now they're under a wing of Crunchyroll. I think that's what they.
I mean, I know that there was some like tomfoolery that happened with Crunchyroll and Funimation, because I used to pay for their like combo connection with that and Verve, and then they're like, we dropped Verve. And now Crunchyroll has been absorbed into Funimation. People are like, oh no, Funimation sucks. And I haven't heard great things about Crunchyroll since then.
Yeah, most people told me after that happened, they like got rid of their accounts and stuff. They said it was really bad. So I was just like, well, nah, I'm not even gonna. I never used Crunchyroll before. Everyone else used Crunchyroll,
Yeah.
but kind of dodged a bullet there supposedly. So I was like, oh, okay.
I wasn't a Crunchyroll person. I wasn't a I'll say it, like I'm one of those people. I'm a dub over sub person. Um I'm perfectly fine with either or. Like if you enjoy it and watch it, I have like my brain thing where I need to be doing something else, and it's really hard for me to like play something on my phone or play another game with subtitles going that I need to read.
Well, I agree with dub over sub. I completely agree with that. The only time I do not like dub over sub is when it's a live action movie, because because when you dub sub, they match up the lips to the dub.
Yeah.
With a dub sub of a live action movie, they're like, here's just a dub over with this.
There's a difference between a movie and a like anime, right?
That's the only time.
When you have like an anime and they're talking, it's just literally a open mouth, closed thing.
Yeah.
There's no enunciation of like, oh no. But whenever it's dubbed and it's a movie, it's live action, you see the guys say, oh no, and then the other guy's just like, oh yeah. It's like, it doesn't fit. But in like anime, you don't really get that, so that doesn't really bother me. My biggest thing is if the dub and sub have obvious ADR is my biggest issue. In the form of like some dude's just like, my name's Thorpin, and like you see his face, he's like, my name is Thorpin, and then it cuts and it's like a widescreen so you don't see their mouth, and he's just like, I'm the son of Thor, and I have a terrible time killing people. I need to avenge my father, but the guy I wanted to father is like they lore dump you very quickly during those scenes, because they're like, we don't have to sync this, so get this information as fast as you can out as necessary. You see that in less quality stuff, but that is something that I get annoyed at. I know like early Ghibli films did that occasionally, and like whenever you're aware of it, you catch on to it and you're kind of like, this is the ADR like lore dumping without doing the voice sync. That to me, that's my issue. All right, Austin, do you have anything you want to bring up with Vinland Saga? Because we anything like storyline wise or anything like that, like my only thing I do want to bring up real quickly that I just thought of, I think this series really struggles without Ocelot.
I could see that. I totally do see that. Ocelot is a great character. So
He just this show, when you have like your main character being like a powerhouse young kid who's like a little like hard-headed, having that character who's more like, I'm a calculative thought process person, really hits very good. In this season, you don't have that. You don't have any character that fills that role. Though you could technically say that Canute tries to fill that role, but Canute isn't involved with everything that's going on.
Correct.
And now if they turn his friend into a Ocelot vibe, I think that's great. Like I could be good with him, where he's more level-headed, he's smart, he's like figuring things out, and then Thorpin is much more of a reactionary like defender. I think it would be fine, but I do think that they need to get that for season 3, because the two of them together are like a good combo, but you need someone who's smart with them. And maybe the old man will be that, like the one ship guy will be that character for them. But that's just my opinion. That's just my thought. I was just thinking with that.
There is one thing I will say about the show. The episode where the girl that he likes, her husband shows up, and his whole episode with his death, where he's having like, where they're like letting them go with the cart, and like he's having those dreams of like, like dropping them off and living in this like wonderful place. that was rough. It was like really rough for me because it's like, man, this is really sad. Like, so I was like, but overall, I do like this show. I totally understand where some people are coming from, but this is like an anime that like I watched and I heard about it and I was like, oh, this is something we should probably do on the podcast. I think it'd be kind of cool just to see like what your take was on it, because my take is like, I really enjoyed it. I thought season 2 was a great character building. A lot of other people that I know are on both sides. Some people are like, yeah, it's great, and then some people are like, I hated it because it's not as action packed as the first season. I was like, I get that. So yeah, I just wanted to have like a talking point with you and be like, what do you think? So it's kind of cool, like seeing your opinion on season 2. I've been waiting for it for a while now, so it's like, we'll get around to watching it, because like I have a couple animes that I have watched and I've been wanting, and I know that you haven't watched. I'm like, hey, maybe he'll like this, like, or like I want to know if he liked this or not, or if I'm missing something with this anime that everyone else likes, and I'm like, okay. So yeah, this is one of those animes where it's like, hey, there's like this split.
I will say, I just looked up the dude's name. I thought it was Ocelot, but it's Ashkelon.
Ashkelon.
Yeah. I thought his name was Ocelot this whole time. I think even last week I was over here calling him Ocelot like the cat the whole time, and I just was completely saying that wrong. Which is funny because I was going to make up a joke about how like it's kind of funny that they have both Snake and Ocelot in here, but it's like, no, it's Ashkelon, like Ashing Lad. And I was like, that's whoops, no, I don't know. That is funny though. That is, yeah, they just need him. They need the health, and it was good for us to talk about it because I do think that I understand your come from, where this is kind of like a conversational piece. I think it would have been a very interesting conversation if like you loved this season and I hated this season. But me, I'm much more of like a slow grind person. Like if the seasons were swapped, I think I would like it less. Like if first season was this big philosophical like who am I type thing, and then season 2 is just him murdering people indiscriminately, I'd be like, I hate this. Because like I even mentioned it at the end of last season. Now I'm like, Thorfinn is a mudboard. Like no one cares about this guy. He has nothing special to him. There's no personality. It's meh. He's very meh. And then this season he begins that way, and by the end of it he's a little better. So I'm hoping like he picks up a hobby or two. I would love it if I come back and he's into like Magic the Gathering or something like that. But he needs something because he's kind of boring he's boring by himself. The introduction of the other character I think is good. He'll be put together.
Oh man, I just forgot there is another show that I think will end here in I think here in like 6 weeks. The Life of Neat or whatever it is, the Critical Role show that just came out, like the first season came out of it. Something.
Oh, Mighty Nine.
The Mighty Nine.
The Mighty Nine.
What it is.
I don't think that ends. Because
I think
the
that
first
ends like the end of the
first. No, the first episode is out for free on YouTube. It's not out. I don't think the show's out yet. I could be wrong. We'll look into it. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that was something that I was bringing up too. Yeah, I forgot about that. But
yeah, no, it's November 19th is the first release of it, and then we'll look into it after that. Okay, awesome. I think that will basically cover it for this week of Frozen shows. Next week we're going to watch Hazbin Hotel season 2. That's finishing up this Tuesday. It's going to be interesting what your opinions on that is, because I know you're not into the Helliverse universe like I am. So that'll be interesting and fun to see what happens.
This guy over here is not into it.
Anyways, Austin, I want to thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Thank you so much, everyone else. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Wait, thank you all so much for stopping by, and thank you all so much for tuning in. Someday I'll remember that.
Yeah, you'll hit it.
I'll hit it. But